parents are athletic, so I kind of inherited my athleticism. I think from both my parents, my mom and my dad, and just growing up where I grew up, was basketball and boxing, pretty much. My father made sure I knew how to box and taught me how to box, as well as tons of other kids and guys, you know what I mean? So I still train. I'm not training for no fights or nothing like that, but I still do boxing training for my mental, as well as my physical. And it has to do with boxing is great for discipline, and as well as your physical needs. It can keep you in shape, and so I do boxing training, basketball, of course. I've always loved basketball. It's my first love, hard sports. So I still play ball a lot. I get up a lot of shots as much as I possibly can. I make a lot of shots. I don't get up the shots. I make a lot of shots as much as possible. So boxing, basketball, bicycling. I do a lot of bike riding, hiking, and swimming. Yeah, those pretty much the main things. Those are the main things I like to do: boxing, basketball, biking, hiking, swimming. Well, like I said, my father, he's one of my most biggest influences as far as physically, because I've been boxing since I was a baby, you know what I'm saying? So he's one of my influences for sure, as far as physically, and for him to be his age and being able to do some of the things he does, he's definitely one of my influences physically, as well as my pops. He's my stepfather, but I like to call him my pops, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause he's more to me than a stepfather. So, as far as basketball, he's been an influence on me. But my uncle Sean, was a huge influence on me as far as basketball. My older brother, as far as boxing. So my father and my older brother was influences on me. Boxing, basketball was like my uncle and my pops, and my mom too, because my mom could play basketball. She was super nice. You know what I mean? Like, my mom could do a lot athletically. You know what I mean? So basketball too, her for sure. But it's like outside of my family. As far as boxing, Muhammad Ali, of course, Floyd Mayweather, of course. I love several other fighters, but as far as like influences, as far as like just popular influences, yeah, it's like Ali and Floyd, Mike Tyson too. You know what I mean? Just other fighters like that, but I would say more so in the boxing world, it'd be Ali and Floyd, like early on. I like other fighters too as well. I watched other fighters too, but it was more so my father and my brother as far as influences when it comes to boxing. I watch and Ali, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just and Bruce Lee. I don't know none of those techniques that he knew, but as far as like fighting influence, absolutely. So I would say more Muhammad Ali and Bruce Lee more than Floyd. Floyd was like, I watched him as well, but I wasn't fighting him, you know what I mean? I was just influenced by his training, more so than his style of fighting. just his training regimens and how much he trains, how often he trains, and how that I was more influenced by that as far as boxing. The first 4 people would be more of an influence as far as boxing. It was, like I said, my father, my brother, Muhammad Ali, and Bruce Lee is like more so the influences that I would look to and watch more so for that. Basketball, like I said, my uncle and my pops, and Allen Iverson, Michael Jordan, of course. Yeah, just to name, like, I guess I can name like 4 each for more so, you know what I mean? Those are the main 4, especially when it came to like basketball. Yeah, it was Iverson and Jordan, and then I got other favorite players, and he more so, like, I've always been a Dwayne Wade fan, but my game is more influence based, or like I'm more like Carmelo Anthony. So I say him for sure, because I'm not, you know, Dwayne Wade was more so like, he was fast, flash, you know what I mean? Like, he was really, that ain't really my game, you know what I'm saying? So my game is more like Melo's. So I would say, as far as like influence on my game, it was Michael Jordan, Allen Iverson, and Carmelo Anthony. Basketball, the way I feel about basketball is like I'm not loyal to a team, because players get traded, players leave, you know what? I'm more so loyal to basketball. I feel like you should be loyal to the player. So I already named a few, which is Michael Jordan, of course. Everybody, like, it's Michael Jordan, so it is what it is. Like, but Allen Iverson for sure. Like, Iverson was the first player I followed in college. He played in Georgetown, where we from, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, Iverson is by far, like, as far as basketball, he's it. But yeah, just to name a few more, was Michael Jordan, Allen Iverson, Carmelo, Dwayne Wade, LeBron, of course. Like, there's no way I could leave LeBron off of favorite players to watch, or, you know what I mean? Even if he wasn't, like, you know, playing for, you know, like, I was a Heat fan, you know what I'm saying? Once Iverson retired, and Melo was where he was, and you know what I mean, it's like Dwayne Wade's where he is, and so that class is kind of like, you know, like Dwayne Wade, LeBron, and Melo. I'm just, you know, that's like kind of my class, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm. Basketball, like, I'll follow them. And right now, to add a player to it would be Damian Lillard, you know what I mean, as far as like basketball. Football, hey man, it's got to be Redskins. It's Redskins all day, you know what I'm saying? Because that's who I grew up watching. That's where I'm from. Like, I used to sit on my grandfather's lap watching the Redskins. So it's the Redskins, you know what I'm saying? My father a Redskins fan, my mama a Redskins fan. Like, that's what it is, you know what I'm saying? So no matter how bad they are, no matter what, they done changed their name and all of that. Like, hey man, I think, and like I was saying, football is more so you loyal to the team, not really so much players, because none of my favorite players play for the Redskins except for none of my favorite players in football played for the Redskins. I don't think Dion played for the Redskins. Like, he never played for the Redskins. Didn't he play for the Redskins? Maybe. Yeah. Okay. So Dion, but Dion, like Michael Vick, Deion Sanders, and Randy Moss is like, they're my favorite football players, period. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and I like other football players too. I like a lot of other ones. I like Chad Ocho, you know what I mean? Like, I like Brandon Marshall and them. You know what I mean? Like it is some other players that I like. A random nigga I'm gonna throw out is Clinton Portis. I always like Clinton Portis, and the only reason I'm gonna say that is because I saw him, I met him, and I hung with him for a second, and he was just cool as ever. You know what I mean? So shout out to Clinton Portis, but he like wasn't my favorite. I ain't gonna front like he was one of my favorite players or nothing. He played for the Redskins and he was hooping, he was balling, but he wasn't like my favorite player or nothing like that. So, but my 3 favorite players for sure in football is Michael Vick, Deion Sanders, and Randy Moss. But it's the Skins all day. And baseball, I mean, I'm the same thing. Baseball, hey, Nationals, baby. You know what I'm saying? And we just won a couple years ago. We won the World Series. You know what I mean? In my lifetime, we don't won the World Series. So, but it's the Nationals. You know what I mean? Hockey is the Capitals, but you know what I mean? Like it's, you know, it is what it is. You know what I mean? And shout out to the Wizards. You know what I mean? But I ain't never been a Wizards fan. Even when Jordan was there, it was like, bro, like all right, we watching Jordan, sweet, but come on, y'all, it's the Wizards. You know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to John Wall, because he's one of my favorite players as well. When he was playing for the Wizards. You know what I mean? But that's, yeah. Out of them sports, baseball, Ken Griffey Jr. Like, I don't have no other baseball players. Like, I don't even keep up with none of the stats, nothing. Like, I don't have no other baseball players that I watch besides Ken Griffey Jr. And he ain't even never played for the Nationals. So, hockey, I know that's crazy, right? That niggas watch hockey, but I do. I watch a lot of sports, but yeah, shout out to the OVO, you know what I'm saying? That nigga's one of the GOATs, if not the GOAT, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to that man, yo. Yeah, but yeah, that's it.
Well, hometown kid, I'm obviously, you know, a Wizards fan by choice, by home. But my real team is the Lakers. You know what I mean? I'm a Lakers fan since I was a kid. The Wizards and the Lakers have always been my teams. As far as football goes, obviously the Redskins, obviously they will forever be the hometown team. They will forever be in my heart because that's what I grew up watching. And while I saw a lot of other teams, no other team, you know what I'm saying, felt like mine except for the Redskins. You know what I mean? Whether they booty as fuck or not, you know what I mean? I love the team. You know what I mean? As far as baseball goes, man, this is gonna be a shocker. As much as I love the Nationals, man, I'm a huge you know, I love the Diamondbacks, man. I don't know what it is about the Diamondbacks, dog. I love Randy Jackson. When I was a young dude, he was a bad motherfucker, man, and I was in love with how he played the game, and I was a huge fan of him. You know what I mean? I was a huge fan of him just for how he played the game. Obviously, Kyle Ripken is one of the legends that we have in our area. You know, the Orioles, we can't leave him out. You know, he is a true legend, true stand-up dude for the game, and he'll ever be loved by myself personally. And I'm a Nationals fan to the end, you know what I mean? But if I had to name, those would be my 3 favorite teams, but I was a huge Randy Jackson fan. So I shout out to the Arizona Diamondbacks, but of course, the Orioles and the Nationals, man, y'all will always be in my heart because y'all the home team. Hockey, you know, obviously the Capitals, man. I mean, that's the only team that we got here. Like you said, shout out to Ovi, you know, Ovechkin, you know what I mean? He the fucking GOAT. And we didn't want something while he been here, and he deserved that contract that he got. You know what I'm saying? He brought us one, and he played his ass off. You know what I'm saying, for us. So he went out like a soldier for us.
He's one of the GOATs.
Definitely one of the GOATs, man. I mean, and we can't. While we have our legends alive and well, man, they need to hear these things from people who actually live in the fucking city.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? People like us. So shout out to him. And as far as I named football, basketball, hockey. I can't really name golf because I can't say that Tiger Woods was one of my favorites. He a bad motherfucker, but
I mean, he's only the one.
Yeah. You know, he.
You can say that.
But I can't say I really sat and watched him play. I just know.
And I've never watched him.
Yeah, I've never watched him sit down and go play. But I mean, shout out to Tiger. You know what I mean? I guess for for holding it down for us for so long. You know what I mean? You want all them shits.
Fucking game.
We gonna give you some props here, dog.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that's it, bro. That was it. I mean, before I name the obvious, Kobe, of course, but before Kobe, like I shared with you before, man, my favorite player was Rod Strickland. Before Kobe Bryant, Rod Strickland was my favorite player, and I would say that is more of what I tell in my game after. He liked to pass the ball. I love to pass the ball, but I also like to shoot. But and while I'm not as tall as Kobe or as athletic as Kobe, I felt like my game was more of a Rod Strickland, Steve Francis type of player. You know what I mean? I love Rod Strickland, but I also love Steve Francis. He was and I love Kobe. But it was something about Rod Strickland and Steve Francis that just, I felt like I could do what they did. I didn't feel like I could do what Kobe did. You know what I mean? Like Kobe was dunking and, he had all these post-up moves and he had great moves and that's my man. But I felt like I could go out there and do what those two guys did, which is be a team player, and then when it's time to score, give me the ball, I'm gonna go score. But as far as my favorite players, Kobe Bryant is my favorite player, of all time, you know what I mean? And I can't say Kobe Bryant first without acknowledging the GOAT, which is Mike. Because Kobe would not have been Kobe if he didn't see Mike. So Michael is the blueprint for all of the players coming into this league, future, past, and present. You know what I'm saying? Michael will always be known as one of those people. A couple other players that I loved, I would say I was a huge Carmelo fan, but I was more so a fan of how he played the game. I love how he played the game. Didn't do a lot of shit talking, just bust everybody's ass and got to the bucket, you know what I mean? And he played with flair, he played with energy. While people would talk trash about him being whatever type of teammate they wanted him to be, I thought he was great. Because he took the blame for a lot of those games that they lost, and I've never seen an interview where he shitted on any of his teammates, ever. That means more to me as a lover of the game than anything else, because I've seen players shit on teammates. That's never a good feeling for me when I see that. So I shout out to Melo for being one of them dudes that never shit on his teammates. I would say outside of Melo, Kobe, Rod Strickland, and Steve Francis, another favorite player of mine is Derrick Rose, but he got hurt, and I always wished I would have saw more from him. You know what I mean? But he was never able to be the same after he tore his ACL, and I tore mine. And it does change your game after you lose that fear of cutting and being explosive and going to the basket. He was never able to be that way again. You know what I mean? So I always wish his career would have ended differently, man. But as far as football goes, I'm gonna keep it real, man. My favorite player, honestly, he just retired, and I would say that's Brady. That motherfucker, man. A lot of people hated him over the years, but I just love the way he played the game. I love the way he played the game, and you can say he's a cheater all you want, but man, you gotta know how to play the game. You gotta know how to play the game. And he's one of the best quarterbacks I ever seen pick up that football, man. Him, Dre Rice, one of my favorite players. Dion, I love Dion, but I more so love Dion for what he represents now. Dion is more of a, you can see his maturity. I've seen Dion's maturity, and I admire what he represents now, and I admire how he played the game, but I more so love Dion for what he is now, because he's now taking everything that he's learned about the game and he's teaching it to the next generation, which I think is more important than anything else a lot of these celebrities are doing. And with his knowledge and his understanding of how the game is played, the next generation of athletes are going to be great and blessed because of him. So I would say those three, man. Yeah.
And you said baseball too. Right?
Randy Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Randy Jackson. Shout out to Griffey. Because he was the only, honestly, I'm gonna be real, he was the only black person that was getting, notarized, and he was killing the fucking game at the time.
He was.
So shout out to him for being who he was to the game and what he meant to young athletes around the world at that time, young black athletes at that time. So shout out to Ken Griffey Jr., man.